Booyah!
Hey guys, how are you doing? I am here today on the announcement of a new update, and it just came out a few days ago. It actually completely blindsided me, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't know anything else was there apart from the matchmaking update, which apparently is a very long time away, so I thought there was really gonna be nothing else, and I'm kind of pleasantly surprised to see another big update pretty recently. It's very, very cool. Personally, I like the update. I think it's the first good, legitimate update since probably the Level War update, probably. But either way, there's plenty of good updates that make it kind of a nicer game as a whole. And there's plenty of balance changes that almost completely change the game, the way some of the classes work and the mechanics. Getting straight into it, there are 4 primary things that happened in this update. Honestly, I feel like it's in preparation for matchmaking because a lot of the balance changes were to nerf really OP weapons and to buff really shitty weapons, so people would use different weapons more often in TF2. Anyway, as I was saying, the first thing they added were the balance changes. Now there are dozens, and I mean dozens of balance changes. I will give you the link in the description of how many there are. For example, they've reduced overall the time for buffing. Now the Dead Ringer is completely useless because the cloak actually, just the normal cloak, gives you a resistance to everything, which is pretty cool. This is just to add like a tip of the iceberg for stuff that happened. Loads of classes got unbelievable fixes, like pretty much game-changing changes for them, especially with weapons. Like the Big Earner is now basically a kind of a scout weapon where you gain movement speed instead of cloak, and the Bicycle is only works for 1 second instead of 3 now, so it's basically completely nerfed. The thing about this is that it's completely made my TF2 knife comparison redundant. I always have to redo it because all the knives are so different now. It's a little bit annoying that I just made it and it's already redundant. Anyway, that's not a big deal. The balance changes are nice. Probably the weirdest one for me is that you can pick up weapons now because of a different change, which I'll explain in a minute, and instead of using it to collect ammo, every person drops ammo. That's a weird change for me. I don't really understand that. Maybe I'm just a weird person, but I always liked the way that if you had a powerful class like a soldier, you could use a rocket to make a weapon come towards you so you could get ammo without having to like go through the effort of walking towards it. I always thought that was cool, and now that's pretty much gone. But then again, maybe that wasn't supposed to be in the game. Maybe it was just a glitch people took advantage of in the game. I don't know. Either way, it's changed now. It's no longer there. So in terms of balance changes, there were dozens, and you're best off just looking at them and taking them in because there were a fucking lot of them, and it would take me, not even kidding, about 2 hours to go over them all. Next thing on the list are the contracts. Now, I fucking love the contracts. They are by far my favorite thing on this update. The way the contracts work is you buy a gunmetal token and for 5 quid, which it's 6 to 7 quid in dollars, but it's still quite a bit of money. Like it can be a bit much to some people, and apparently it's to fund the moderators who made this update, which seems like a fair enough deal. But I don't know. I'm not gonna take sides here. But the cool part is that it gives you contracts, even though there's only 2 or 3 a week, which basically give you certain challenges to do during a game, which you have to do. Like for example, like for engineer, you have to have a teleporter and have 100 people teleport through your thing, which was one of them, or like aeroblast people as a pyro. They're like really small challenges that aren't actually that difficult. But the reason I love this isn't because of the prizes you get, which I'll get onto in a minute. The reason I adore this is because it makes people do what you're supposed to do in TF2. The amount of times I've been extinguished when I'm on fire is godlike. I fucking love the fact that people are doing what is expected of them as a class. Like, I know I'm taking it slightly a bit seriously, but it helps people learn that they should be doing this on a regular basis even when they're not playing seriously, which to me is an incredibly important part of the game. And there's so many different small things people should be doing, like for example setting up teleporters, extinguishing, that basically the contracts force you to do, or else you don't win anything. So in that case, it's actually amazing. The only reason I don't like this that much is because the people who are really bad at this game wouldn't buy this because they just wouldn't want to. And I completely get that because I already did it for this. I mostly did it to see what those new weapons were like. So as a result, it mightn't be as effective in that terms as I might want it to be, but it's still pretty badass, and I'm really happy to see this change come through. And contracts are a nice little way to freshen up a game. It gives you a sense of achievement, considering I've unlocked all of my achievements. I'm no longer really bothered with it. So, in terms of contracts, it's amazing. Now, the next and third thing, which is probably the most controversial in my opinion, are the skins. Now, the skins have been kind of a divider, not because of the way they are, but because of the way they're set up. I love the fact that there's color in TF2 now. I always like people always downloaded modded skins because they wanted to add color to their weapons and make them look cool. And now that they can do it publicly in a server, it's a lot better. I love the fact that there's these really cool designs that you can work with, and they work really well. I love that. I think it was a very necessary step. But here's a big but, and here's the bit that gets to people. It's very Counter-Strikey. By Counter-Strikey, I mean it has a very Counter-Strike feel as to how it works. For example, the way it works is that it's almost in a set, almost exactly like the way Counter-Strike works. Counter-Strike works entirely around set, where you have to collect weapons that are in different conditions, such as well-worn, battle-scarred, all those different things, and they really affect the quality of the weapon. As a result, I must say that they have to tread lightly. Like, this isn't terrible. This is I love the update. This is fine. Just be careful as to how many changes you make towards Counter-Strike. I think Counter-Strike is one game, TF2 is another. I think you have to keep them firmly apart, because they're two very different games with two very different respected communities. As a result, I think this episode's fine. I think it's still great that they added weapons with color and stuff, so I'm not complaining about this in particular, but I'm saying if they continue to add things that are reminiscent of Counter-Strike, they risk alienating people who were diehard fans of the original Team Fortress 2 for 8 years. The only reason I made this warning is not because of this weapon thing itself. The main reason I was inspired to make this little speech was because I saw that you can inspect weapons. The big thing that's to do with Counter-Strike, where if you press F, you can look at your weapon, like you can kind of look at it and kind of brag about it a little bit. I think that's a bit fair. I'm not kidding. The skins were great, but I think being able to inspect it like Counter-Strike is the reason I'm saying this stuff. I think it's a bit fair to do that. I think you shouldn't be ever trying to make it as Counter-Strike as possible because they're two very different games. So again, this is a very small thing, so Valve aren't probably going to do this, but I'm just worried they might. Even the small probability they might worries me. That's all. The last thing is the 4 new maps. Now the 4 new maps, they're all pretty great. I can't remember the name of any of them because I have a weird thing where I can't remember names of TF2 maps, probably because I have to like play them like 50 billion times to remember them. Like I like took me ages to remember what Gully Wash was and Granary and I play Six's comp. Granted I play Steel, but still I should know at least the name of the maps. And only recently I learned those. Anyway, there's one map that's like a Chinese map, which is a cough map. It's really well done, really interesting, I love it. There's one map that has 3 control points, which is a nice little change. There was the end of the line map that was one that people said was way too complicated to learn for newer players, and then they added it. I don't know, but it's still cool ass map, and I still love playing it. And finally there's a payload map, which I kind of fucking love, I'm not gonna lie. All of the maps are pretty cool. They all have really cool mechanics behind them. Probably the end of the line map is probably the coolest one, mostly because they put so much time into it during the end of the line update that it's a really well thought out map. It's just a bit complicated and you have to, memorize it a little bit. Anyway, that's all I really wanted to go over. That's the 4 main changes that came out of this game. Skins. And overall, skins are awesome. Just be careful of separating Counter-Strike and TF2. Contracts are amazing. I love the way that they give people responsibility to do things that are expected of them in TF2. The new maps are cool. I think they all work really well. And the balance changes, albeit a bit weird, I'll probably get used to them, and they are actually probably for the best in the end. Anyway, I'll see you next time. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I don't really know why I made it. Probably just to discuss something for a change. Probably to discuss something. Anyway, I'll see you next time. Have a nice day.